Roguelikes often find success through the depth of each run, building on the last. That first run introduces you to the controls and the enemies, giving you a feel for the game. And of course it intends for you to die. Everything after that is when you start to peel back. Something new becomes available, a new ability, a new upgrade. Maybe they trickle out more of the story. And suddenly there's that carrot on the stick that keeps you coming back for just one more run. Armatus is a new third-person roguelike shooter from Counterplay Games. It first caught my eye during the Xbox Partner Preview last November, and it looked pretty promising. And then I found out the studio previously made Godfall. Uh-oh. But with the demo out on Steam, I figured I'm gonna try myself. Could Armatus satisfy that need for one more run? Please keep in mind, these are impressions of a demo. It's not the full product, and it is not a review. One of the coolest things about Armatus is the setting. Sure, it's post-apocalypse, but this time it's biblical. The world has ended. Rapture has taken almost everyone, leaving only 4 members of the Armatus behind. Barricaded in the bowels of the Cathédrale de Troyes, 4 members of the Armatus, an ancient religious order, have been left behind, forsaken by God. They have summoned you to fight on their behalf and usher them to heaven. But are they worthy of that which they seek? You play as the warrior, an eternal killing machine with some sick armor. Each run has you going through the Scoured Path, an apocalyptic version of Paris, France. The demo includes the first zone and boss, along with a small portion of the weapons and abilities that will be available at launch. My first run was pretty generic. Right from the start, the performance was rough. This game runs on Unreal Engine 5, and I was getting the random stutters and inconsistent frame rates to a noticeable degree. I'm not usually a performance snob, but this was noticeable enough that it kept pulling me out of the experience. Now, it's only a demo, but UE5 doesn't exactly inspire confidence, especially on PC ports, so we'll have to see what they can do come launch. It started me with an assault rifle equipped with a grenade launcher alt-fire. These alt-fire abilities consume energy, which is built up by dealing firearm and melee damage, so you're constantly trying to stay aggressive and build it up. Combat is fast-paced, you're dashing around the arena, trying to avoid getting hit while using your abilities as often as possible. After a few rooms, the game pulls you into a hub outside the ruined city, where you choose upgrades through doorways. Celestial abilities, armor and weapon glyphs, and augments provide passive bonuses to the warrior. There's also a currency called quintessence that lets you purchase upgrades. Those who've played Hades will recognize these systems immediately. Enemy variety in the demo was pretty solid. Some enemies fly overhead, others create toxic zones on the ground that keep you moving, and some make a beeline for you to deal melee damage. They all look distinct, so you quickly learn their movesets. What I noticed though is that enemy attacks didn't always have that visual clarity I've come to expect from a third-person roguelike. Returnal is the gold standard here. You can still have challenging combat while clearly reading what's happening on screen, and this wasn't always the case in Armatus. As expected, I eventually died and got sent back to the cathedral. I was looking forward to this. This is the moment when a roguelike reveals its real hook. In this case, the demo introduces a skill tree, except it doesn't actually show it to you. Instead, it explains that the skill tree will make you more powerful, and it automatically selects a few perks for you, things like more healing, without even showing you the tree. I understand why demos do this, but personally, that doesn't draw me in, even for a demo. I'd rather they tease a few early upgrades that I can choose myself instead of picking them automatically. For my next few runs, I decided to experiment with the 4 weapons available in the demo. I had to go with the shotty first. The alt-fire ability I mentioned earlier seems to rotate weapons each run, so I ended up with the grenade launcher again. I hate to say it, but I was disappointed. The shotgun felt like it was missing some punch, and I wasn't really a fan of the grenade launcher either. Overall, it was a rough run. Back to the cathedral. Next up, precision rifle. Things started to get more interesting from here. During this run, I started stacking abilities together that felt a little broken, as the game intended. Armatus is frenetic, chaotic, high-octane, and breakable by design. Deep buildcraft and player expression are at the heart of this experience. Abilities of every kind can be altered, upgraded, modified, and combined to uncover synergies of staggering devastation. I got a throw scythe ability that turned enemies to stone and made them more vulnerable. My melee was now a 3-hit combo, with the last hit dealing a ton of damage, and my alt-fire was a buffed up flamethrower, perfect for when mobs were frozen in place. This run eventually led me to the demo's boss fight, and with this build, that boss ended up being easy work. My last run was with the submachine gun. It wasn't quite as synergistic as the previous run, but I did find another set of cool skills that complemented each other. Slow time, which made enemies take more damage, paired with an uninterrupted gunfire while they were slowed. Basically, no need to reload. Was very cool. So what to make of this demo and early impressions of the game? After that first run, I was worried Armatus was going to be pretty bland. The gameplay didn't stand out, and the performance certainly didn't help. But after a few more runs, some of the systems started to click. Experimenting with builds and stacking abilities was where the game started to get interesting. The problem is, the demo never really lets you see the potential of those systems. The skill tree stays hidden, so you can't explore how progression might shape future runs. On the narrative side, the game gives you very little to latch onto. The premise is cool. Biblical end of the world. Last members of the Armatus left behind. Rejected from heaven. But the demo reveals almost no lore or story to spark curiosity. In fact, those remaining members are downright uninteresting. Your only interaction with one comes during a run, and she speaks to you like you're on military comms.
Samina, on comms. This is it, warrior.
These elements are important in a roguelike. The best ones hook you with gameplay and give you something to uncover between runs. Right now, Armatus shows some potential, but this demo doesn't really create that one more run addiction roguelikes need. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate you all. Take care.